So maybe I was a little bit hasty when I read Absolute Power #1. Green Arrow is on the Mail Waters task force, and I don't know why. He might have a legit reason, or he could just be being an asshole. I don't know, because I haven't been keeping up with Green Arrow, so I don't know the circumstances. But all I know is when he showed up in Absolute Power, it surprised the hell out of me, and he was talking like cash money big shit to the Justice League. Let's see where this leads. Does he stay with the bad guys, or does he come back to the good guys? Or do they kill him? One way to find out. My name is Dorian, this is SCM Comics. We are continuing our coverage of Absolute Power with Green Arrow #14. So our story starts off with just a recap of how pretty much Amanda Waller and the new task force clapped just about everybody's cheeks. Now, if you need to catch up, for all YouTube people, the link to the playlist will always be in the description. For you Rumble and Facebook people, you just gotta find the videos that say Absolute Power. Now, the only superheroes that really didn't get their cheeks claps were the Arrow family, ironically. Like, nothing happened to them. Now, is that because none of them really have powers? Maybe that could be an argument, but they really didn't get touched. And you have Batman and Nightwing talking to him via hologram. So Arsenal, or Harper, it's like, hey, put us in, coach. We're ready to go. And Batman's like, no, I don't think so. So Roy gets pissed and it's like, you don't trust us? And Nightwing has to intervene. It's like, no, it's not that we don't trust you, but there's a reason why he spared you guys. And until we figure that out, we don't want you to do anything right now. So the original treasurer, which used to be Roy Harper's wife, is like, I agree with the dude with the nice butt. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, time out. You guys had to have met like a few times. That can't be the first time you're actually seeing Nightwing's butt for the first time. So Roy's still arguing how they don't need to be left on the sidelines, and Batman's like, look, I'm gonna say this one time. This fight that we have seems to be impossible. When it's all said and done, you guys might be the only ones left to come save us. So like I said, you're staying on the island. Now, if you watch Young Justice, then you know that Roy Harper is not just going to sit back and take orders from Batman. That is not happening. And Roy already has a plan. He wants to find Professor Ivo. Yes, he's the one that invented the Amazo robot, at least the original Amazo robot. And he feels like he might have some information on how to stop these Amazo robots. And as they're talking about their plan, they're making their way down to the new Arrow Cave. I'm with Harley Quinn in Injustice. He should have called it the Quiver. And then out of nowhere, coming from the shadows, Connor Hawk shows up, which is Oliver Queen's son. The last time I seen him, he was getting into it with Damian Wayne on Lazarus Island. So they fill him in on what they plan to do, and they all take off to go find Professor Ivo. So now we cut to the old Hall of Justice, which is now the headquarters of the Bureau of Sovereignty, and you got Green Arrow sitting back looking at the screens in the Justice League headquarters when Bright shows up. Now, Bright is from a alternate universe. He used to be friends with Oliver Queen in that universe. Somehow, some way, he got here during Dark Crisis. He got this figure. That's why he looks like a robot. And right now, he hates Green Arrow. So Bright's just waiting for Oliver to pretty much double cross Waller. And when that happens, he wants to pretty much take him out. So they ask him what he's doing. And Oliver's like, well, Amanda wanted me to round up all the weapons, but she's like, we can round up all the weapons, but we don't need to just round up the weapons. We need to get the people who actually make the weapons. And Brent's like, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. I'll go tell her. And Oliver's like, no, I'll go tell her. So Brent's like, you know, eventually your buddies are all going to be rounded up. Waller won't need you anymore. Then I'll be there to burn out your eyes. And Oliver's like, look forward to it whenever that happens. So then we cut to Death Valley, and the original treasurer, who used to be a bad guy, pretty much pulled some strings and found where Dr. Ivo is being held. And she was like, well, he's here, but let me stress to you, he is not well, as she pulls the door open. So as they go down the stairs, Dr. Ivo is just sitting there waiting on him. He's like, if I knew I was going to have guests, I'd have put on some tea, as he's pointing some kind of weapon at him, and he does look crazy. So Arsenal does what he does, shoots an arrow, pretty much takes out the weapon. Ivo looks up and was like, wow, you guys brought the whole family. I'm flattered. And they're like, you're going to help us stop Amanda Waller's Amazos. And he's like, those abominations? I had nothing to do with those. So then he talks into a recorder, because all mad scientists have a recorder, and goes, note to self, abominos? See if that's a thing. So Red Arrow puts an arrow on his face and goes, spill it, Ivo. We know you had something to do with this. And he goes, look, it was never about power for me. It was about the science. Amanda Waller pretty much stole what I had and made her own thing. I had nothing to do with these Amazos. But then he presses a button on his wrist, and you hear this voice say, leave Ivo alone. And then he takes off. Someone's like, we got a runner. But Nero's like, oh no, we have a bigger problem. And they're like, it's Tomorrow Woman. I never heard this woman before. Supposedly, Dr. Ivo and Tio Moro built her to pretty much kill the Justice League. She thought that she was like an actual superhero. Anyway, long story short, Ivo was supposed to fix her. She looks crazy as hell. She's pretty much like, if you're not going to let Ivo finish what he needs to do, then you guys are not my friends. You're my enemy. So Red Canary rushes her, and she does something to her. She's like, she's in my head. And they're like, uh-oh, she has telepathy. She doesn't just have that. She also has telekinesis, and she is wrecking shop. She picks him up all in the air. I mean, high in the air. And then she pretty much drops him. And since none of them got superpowers, they are all about to die. And Dr. Ivo's crazy ass is in some makeshift doom buggy getting away, when all of a sudden somebody blows up the doom buggy, and we see is Bright. And he's like, I'm here to save you. I'll be thinking to myself, by blowing up my doom buggy? And we see the only ones who didn't get dropped in the air is Treasure, the original Treasure, and her daughter, Treasure Cat. Man, what about all the other ones that are dropping from the sky right now? Like, how the hell you gonna end the comic book on this? Like, do they get saved? And this is crazy. Crazy. Damn it, Joshua Williamson, why are you doing this to me?